plant a church? How do you reach the unchurched? Or I would say, how do you reach the unreached? Maybe we can put that as well here. Not only unchurched, but all right, wait 1 second. All right. So how do you reach the unchurched or unreached is the question. And so what we need wherever we begin a church plant, a ministry, we need to develop a core group, right? Core group. What is a core group? Core group can be the unchurched who met Jesus and welcome your discipleship, who are, I would say, recently saved. Number one. And another people is church people who already years of life with Jesus, but with a strong outward focus. Think about that. Strong outward focus. You need to have people who wanted to plant churches, who wanted to share the gospel, that kind of people. That is what you need, right? You need people who wanted to reach out to people. There are some people like that, very, very active in reaching out to people. Both are needed to be recruiters and to follow up others who come. For Christians, who need people with an outward focus, concern for the lost, and a positive attitude who will follow your leadership, right? But make sure, yes, those whom your core group, they follow your leadership. Some people, you know what they do? They want to be the leader, and they don't do. So the wrong kind of believers will kill your core group and absorb too much of your time. There are some advantages and obvious disadvantages of targeting or building your core only from those who are already believers. So you need to have people who are recently saved, who are very good in evangelism. So that is the idea, right? Otherwise, we can have a lot of problems. Conversion growth will occur during this prenatal stage only if early core group members are highly committed to being evangelistically effective. All right, highly committed in evangelism. Ideally sent from mother church that is effective in evangelism, and united behind the church planter in their vision and strategy, willing to follow a faith-oriented planter with evangelistic gifting vision, able to attract a large number of unchurched public people very quickly. All right, so look at those statements. Those statements simply says the core group in the success of any church planting is that people who have the gifts of attracting other people. Yeah, gifts of attracting other people, right? That is what effective in evangelism. Who has the burden? Who has that desire to see people come to Christ? And therefore, the best way to build your local core group is to do so from the lost population, right? Right. That means those who are recently converted. Here are the advantages of focusing upon reaching the discipling and the lost and the unchurched. It yields highest percentage of conversion growth, right? When you focus on unchurched people or unreached people, there can be a lot of conversion. And new people, newly saved, and old people with a high effectiveness evangelism provides a right mix in the core group. And it also provides credibility for you and the gospel, and the target is going to be huge. So, first of all, Conclusion is this: to build your core group, best approach is to use a combination of winning the lost and finding Christians. All right? You want to plant a church? Two things. Find out Christians in that area, right? Who are good in evangelism. Number one. Number two, win the lost, right? Share the gospel. So we need that this group of people, new believers and old believers who are very good in evangelism. That is what should make up your core group. All right. Now, I thought many times to add this information here, but I think it is okay to look this way in the evangelistic strategy. What does this mean? But I wanted to have a different take from the usual way of presenting this strategy of reaching the unreached, right? 3 preliminary outreach principles, all right? 3 preliminary outreach principles. Number 1, find receptive people. I know in India, it's not easy. Not only in India, in all other states, countries, in South Asian countries. Finding people who are receptive is not easy. But that is what our responsibility is. Sometimes the evangelistic strategist called person of peace principle. All right? Did you hear the word? Person of peace. What is that person of peace? Simply means receptive people. All right? Get that in your mind. Find the people who are willing to receive. In our country, it is very rare, right? But work hard, we might find someone. Number 1, biblical theological rationale. For example, in Acts chapter 16 at Philippi, a planting team goes to Riverside to find a place of prayer. Place of prayer. Because there was a place of prayer where people come to pray. In Acts 14 at Iconium, they had to a Jewish synagogue where as their habit was. Why did they go to place? Synagogue, other place? Because there are people willing to listen. So simply, the idea is to go to people who are willing to listen. Jesus said that the 12, later the 70 on the same, to identify person of peace, right? Enter into the city, as you do the minute, find out the person of peace. So we have the idea person of peace has come from this one. Whatever house you enter, first to say, peace to the house. If a son of peace is there, your peace will rest on him and remain on this. So from there, you get the idea, the person of peace, the person who accepts you, the person who receives you, person who is willing to accept you is that person of peace, right? Who is not against you. How to recognize a person of peace? Now the question, how am I going to understand the person of peace? 3 characteristics. Number 1, responsiveness. They are open, interested, sympathetic, or even often receiving the gospel freely. Very rare to find, but there are people who are sympathetic to you. All right? You find that kind of people. People who are sympathetic to you. So, number idea. Now, number one, idea number one, responsiveness for a person of peace. Number two, person of peace in terms of relation or connection or influence, I would say. They know lots of people and can quickly refer to Christ to others in their network. They're in a position of great influence over their family, friends, within the community. So, as someone who has what? Relational connection. Someone who has relational connection, that who can influence other people very quickly. He is the person of peace. Third quality of a person of peace is reputation. Well-known character, good or bad, normally respected in the community. So, when you go in order to plant churches, that is what you have to look at. What do you have to look at? Look for the person of peace. Look for the one who is responsive, one who has able to make relationship with others, who has a good reputation. Good reputation. That is the person of peace. So, how to recognize a person of peace? These three criteria are very important. Principle, focus your outreach efforts on a key community individual who can open the door to many others in that community. And what is the benefit? This person has the ability to introduce the church planters into their sphere of influence effectively. They can be great bringers, includers of others into the life of a new church. So, if you wanted to be successful church planter, if you wanted to plant a church, right? You go to a new place, planting church in a new place, you need to find a person of peace. Who is a person of peace is being discussed and is good help, right? So, we say here, our point number A is what? Find receptive people. If you're going to plant churches, you're not going to throw stones into the nest of the crow. That is nesting. It is going to come after you. If you're going to plant churches, you're going, I'm a fighter. I'm going to plant a church. I'm going to plant a church in a particular group of people who always was against, missionaries and evangelists. Wait a minute. You don't have to go there. You don't have your responsibility to plant churches. You go to a place where you can plant church. Wait, there are some people who wanted to go and do that. Let them do it. Right? Want to go to what is that? The Sentinel tribe. Remember, somebody, they kill everyone who goes there in that tribe. They kill everyone. Someone has to want to go. People went there, they were killed, right? You don't have to. So some will go, that's okay. Your responsibility is to go. Now, so am I discouraging difficult places? No, I'm not discouraging to go to difficult places. But first, wherever you go, this is what you do, right? Find receptive people. Point number B.
You can wait.
Point number B, that is, be intentional about establishing credibility in the community. You're going to be in a community. You be intentional about establishing credibility, right? What do? You must build bridges to the community you desire to reach. You need to build bridges. You need to make a relationship. If you are a person who can never make a relationship with other people, you're not good for church planting. Not good for church planting. You need to learn to make relationship. So maybe you are not good now, so you work with someone who can make a relationship. Yeah, that's what you should be doing. You learn from others. Always act with the credibility to earn it, right? You be credible. Others should be able to believe you. If you're not credible, your message will not be credible. If people cannot accept you, people will not accept your message. Accepting your message depends upon that they are accepting you. Right? People often greet a new pastor with a suspicion. So what do? Make yourself known to the leadership of your town or city. If it is safe, if it is okay, right? Yeah, I'm saying like, what are the political leaders? I know, for example, in a place like Kerala, you can do that. Maybe, you can approach political leaders and say, I'm pastor, I need some help, could you help and things like that. You can talk to the leaders. Some place it is doable, but not every place. So make yourself known to the leadership of your community. Introduce yourself to Christian leaders, pastors, who will be sympathetic to your ministry. Wait a minute. Christian leaders and pastors who will be sympathetic to your ministry. In our country, usually what is the problem? You go to a place and most of the pastors may not like you because they are afraid of you, right? And you don't have to plant a church where there are a lot of churches already. What's the point? Good. If there are good churches already, why do you want to go there, right? Maybe the churches don't grow, then there is a possibility that you could go. If there are growing churches already, then you don't have to. So go to a place where there are not many churches. Go to a place where people are willing to listen to you. 5, accept communities, accept opportunities to participate in worthwhile community function. Yes. Bridging gap, one of the ways of bridging gap is one, community functions. I know that we have a lot of community functions attached to religious, in our religious. I'm not talking about that one, but other, right? For example, I've given some examples here. Chamber of Commerce meeting, friends of the library, or be willing to speak, community function, be willing to speak at civic endeavors if it is anything. If athletically gifted, you can coach people or encourage your wife to do a volunteer work at the public schools, or if there is a charitable organization, volunteer to write weekly or occasional newspaper column if you can. Yes, do that. Topic that you can address, right? If you can write, so be public if you can. Summary: meeting people from all walks of life is the church planter's business. Community confidence and recognition can only be gained through repeated friendly contacts that are thoroughly and prayerfully cultivated, right? So I am saying here that we need to cultivate that, right? So the help, so secure an attractive card and give people freely. So what do you do? What do you do? You make yourself known. So my point here is be intentional about establishing credibility in the community. All right. So I said there are 3 preliminary principles, outreach principles. Number 1, find receptive people. Number 2, be intentional about establishing credibility in the community. Number 3, constantly pray and look to God for open doors. Constantly pray and look to God for open doors. What is that? Yes. Treat your ministry area like a garden to be cultivated by prayer and hard work. Think that you are in a garden. You wanted to cultivate in that garden. Two things are required: prayer and hard work. Saturating your community with a prayer is crucial, and one way to see higher level of receptivity. Saturating your community with a prayer is so important for receptivity. One of the reasons many people fail is that they don't pray for that target group. All right? So constantly pray. Treat it like a garden. Have to, okay. Let's take up this one. How to saturate your community with the prayer? Praying over the maps of the city or the target area. Where are you located? What do you want to plant the church? Do you have a map? Let's have the target. Engaging in prayer walking on target neighborhood streets, right? Yes, that is, as you walk around the city, the area, as you pray, right? So that is an important thing to note here. You walk around, pray for every in the nook and corner of the community. Praying, saturating with the prayer. All right. A ministry idea here is consider starting a prayer for you ministry with the community needs survey prospects who have asked for prayer. Right? Prayer for you or praying for you. Right? It's a ministry that you can embark on, target your community. Maybe people want to have needs that someone to pray for. So, yes, you pray for your community. Same time, pray or make a ministry of prayer for your community. So constantly pray and look God for open doors. Right? Look God for open doors. So, friends, 3 ideas, preliminary principles for outreach. 3 principles. If you're in the business of planting church, these 3 principles are important. Find receptive people or people who will listen. Be intentional about establishing credibility in the community. Bridge the gap. Get acquainted with the people. Bridge the relationship. Work for the community. Pray often. Pray for them. All right.